G-Money here for Restoring a Princess, and I'm here with the Director of Operations, Mr. EMILE Levons. How are you doing?
I'm good to meet you.
Now, we were speaking in part one with the CEO, Mr. Brian Mingo, and we touched briefly on stuff about the airport when it comes to the construction in 7 years. But you are the guy that has to deal with all the moving and shaking of trying to get things done here inside an active airport. How difficult was that?
Well, let's just put it this way. It's extremely challenging. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably choose not to.
Really?
Yeah, it's really difficult and mind-blowing that, you know, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Every day you have to be thinking outside the box just to get things going and make sure that the operation maintains its safety and standards.
So give me an example that you can probably think of where something just has to be so outrageous that you got to keep this airport open is something that you have to do.
So example, the footprint that we are using right now, we are using it in a way that it has not been designed for. And we have been doing this over the past 4 or 5 years. Since the hurricane, we just had to make something happen that we can actually utilize the building. And because certain parts were closed off, we had to basically, you know, make some key adjustments. Example, our departure area was basically pre-Irma, our arrival process. So basically we just reverse it around just to get passengers moving through the building, and we have been doing that for a number of years. And of course, because it was not designed like for that, it comes with some security concerns where you have to make certain adjustments and stuff like that. And all the changes that we made, we are being audited by the Civil Authority and the TSA.
So you are a live, active airport, and as Mr. Mingo mentioned, 1 runway, 1 terminal, 1 roof. When it comes to security, how difficult is that? How do you guys deal with that?
Because now we also have a number of checkpoints that we are manning right now that was not there, but we became a temporary checkpoint so we can keep the operation flowing. And right now, even though we move back into the building because construction is still ongoing, those areas we still have to continue to man with the situation as it was pre-Irma. So basically, it stretched our staff extremely thin.
I see you guys, you guys improvise a lot here because, okay, this is going to be a concession, this is going to be check-in, this is going to be check-out. When it comes to arrivals, you guys really had to think outside the box when it comes to the temporary arrival, the TAF. Tell me a little something about that.
So let me explain you how we got there. During the construction, we were getting a lot of complaints from the stakeholders, the airlines, the handlers, even immigration. Whenever works would start, jackhammering, drilling, they would complain about noise, dust, and everything. Some of it you try to work through, but eventually, you know, they got to a point where it became overbearing, and they would threaten to walk off the job. And this was actually, we would go and stop the works, but obviously it would delay the progress of trying to move forward. So eventually, you know, we know when we got to arrivals, it would be on a larger scale, so we had to make a decision on how we're going to proceed forward. And the easiest way, given the delays, the expense we would have incurred with the delays, it just made sense to go with a temporary building.
Now that temporary building is rather small. Is there a reason why you put it there? A reason why it's so small?
So the temporary building is small, but keep in mind we had a footprint that we could have worked with. Also, cost is involved. One of the factors that impacted us there is that we never expected the traffic would continue to be what it is today.
So you were expecting lower traffic?
We were expecting the traffic would eventually die off and we would be able to manage it until we actually move back into the building. But that never happened. The traffic actually peaked and continues to peak as it is today.
So you, like I said, I mentioned in part one, with you guys are getting a lot of heat when it comes to social media, when it comes to locals, when it comes to the tourists coming in, about the Taff. How do you?
So I mean, I see the comments on social media, and you know, I just want people to understand that we didn't do it because, you know, we wanted, you know, we got to this point because there was a decision we really had to make. Otherwise, the construction would actually be delayed even further, probably into 2025.
Right.
So even though it's a rough time right now, we know at the end of the road, there's going to be, you know, some good times because of the decisions that we made. So how the Taff works basically, because the size itself, we only were able to have one belt. So now imagine we took one of our existing belts from our existing system and we migrated it over to there. So we had to get technicians in here to basically take apart a belt and put it back together on a smaller scale. And that's what we did. So we have one belt in the Taff, which means to say we could only hold a certain amount of bags. Because the area is small again, so how we plan it is we have it we do it by flight basis. So based on the flight arrival, whichever one arrives first and get the passengers to the Taff first, then we make sure that those bags are synced with it. Yeah, that means once you get into the Taff, you don't really have to wait for your bags. It's a process of getting the bags there, but once the bags are there, you grab your bag and you exit. At the situation we have right now, that's the best we can do right now.
Okay. And then also going back to the Taff, but you guys also depend on not just your staff, but other staff to make the Taff run smooth.
Correct. So what we have done over the last few months is we have brought in a number of part-time workers, helpers that help us on a daily basis, especially on weekends. Also on the weekends we have a rotation of the managers and directors that come on board and basically assist us with that. So they man key areas, assist the operations team to making sure that everything runs smooth.
Would you say that you're almost at the finish line when it comes to moving and shaking, moving things around, or you still have more to do?
We're almost at the finishing line. We have some small little hiccups coming up with regards to because right now we have what we call the B gates. That's where we put our
win air.
Yes. We have to do some work down there. Actually, the walkway to get down, we have to do the terrazzo and everything down there. And so we're trying to figure out how we're going to position getting passengers down, but still keep it open because we cannot close it off. Because if we close it off, we won't have sufficient gates.
To be honest with you, I don't know how you guys do it, because you come 1 month and then something's here set up, and then next month you come back, now it's over here set up. Like your team has to be like really good to do it.
They're good, and at this point they're very exhausted, but we keep pushing to make sure that, you know, the operation continues.
Okay. So like I said, we're almost at the finish line. What can we expect from the Princess once we're done?
So hopefully we will be finished and complete and ready for operation on arrival around the 7th or 8th of October. Coming with that is a lot of technologies are coming online. As you can see from the departure end, this will continue on the arrival end also. We're implementing some self-check kiosks on arrival. There's going to be a registration process for that. So once you register online, you'll be able to come to the kiosk and have a shorter time at the kiosk. Once you register at the kiosk, you will exit to a gate, and the gate will recognize your features by facial recognition because it will be registered in the system. And as you approach the gate, once you're cleared into the country, it'll open up and let you into the country. If not, then you'll be redirected to a manual booth where we have officers that will interact with you also.
Okay. Well, Emile, I gotta say, you guys have a tough job ahead of you. You guys have been doing quite a great job for the past 7 years, and wish you guys all the best of luck, and hey, congratulations.
All right, thank you much.
All right, it's Restoring a Princess. It's your boy G Money. Hey, don't forget, the Princess is going to be celebrating 80 years. That's right. So keep it right here. We have a lot more to show you, a lot more to come. It's Restoring a Princess. Until next time.